Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Hello. What day is it? It is May 1st. Oh my goodness, it's May 1st. You are here at the Comfy Nest with Grace. I hope you make your way here. I did send out a Telegram chat and let everybody know that I'm going live this morning at 9:45. This is my segment in the Craft Round the Clock group. So if you're not a member, make sure that you join. I gave you the link to that group in the description of this video. But you can simply search in Facebook for Craft Round the Clock. And like I said, it's a free group. Every 45 minutes, somebody goes live in that group for a huge selection of different creative people going live, sharing different projects with you. And today I'm going to be making, is that backwards for you guys? I thought I had fixed that. Let's see if we can fix it. Let's see if it'll let me. Today we're going to make a book. Come on, it won't let me. Oh, darn it. Sorry, girls. We're going to make a book out of this box. Pillsbury Quick Bread, banana bread. My family loves this bread. Hey, Lori, how are you? Hey, Diana, I'm seeing you. Good morning, Miss Tracy. I hope you are just feeling really good and restored and refreshed from all your time with all the other Craft Round the Clock sisters. I watch with a little green from envy all the photos of all you girls enjoying, well, and guys too, enjoying each other's company. So I hope it was a fabulous trip. I really enjoyed all the posts, so thank you for sharing. I want to make sure that this feed is going through. So just give me a second, girls, and so I can see that you can see me in the right place. Good morning, Kimberly. Aw, thanks, darling. Hello, Chris Costelli, and Dawn is here. Good morning. Happy May 1st, right, Dawn? It is May 1st. I can't believe it. April went by really quick, and my last weekend of April was so busy. My son Gannon had an MRI on Friday, so I was gone for the day for that because he was out of town. And then my other son had his first college visit again out of town. So that was our whole day on Saturday. So yesterday was recovery and laundry, but we're back at it today. I'm really excited to share with you. I cannot find this feed for the life of me. I've had more trouble. I'll be honest with you. There it is. I finally found it. More trouble finding the feeds on my own laptop while I'm live in Google. So just as a tip, I do have better luck in Safari. FYI, if it helps anybody. Hello, Miss Jeanette. Hey, Missy. Now I see it. Now I can see all your comments more easily. Yay. Okay. I took the box, it was empty, flattened it, and then cut off the top and cut off the bottom, you know, all those flaps. And then what you're usually going to see is that the box has a place, you can see it, where there's a seam. And I usually just use my finger and get in there, just like opening an envelope, and break open that seam. So it's this extra piece right here that holds the whole box closed. And I'm going to cut off that seam and then this extra part right here. We're going to cut those two off, and that will give us the basis for our book. Now, this little book was made with another food box, this little book. So what will end up looking like is this. It's going to have a nice wide spine, and on the spine, you'll see right here, I've sewn into the book what we call signatures. So each section of pages is called a signature, and there are 2 of them in that book, and you can see the sewing here. And a true junk journal, using things at home, or things that you could find that are junky that you would throw out otherwise, like this box, to make a book like this. And then on the inside, what I do is I usually just grab a bunch of like papers, a variety of papers. I really like a big variety. I like, see how this is the same piece of paper. It's going 2 different ways there. It's double-sided, but I have some doilies in here. So I tend to use, that's a book page that I was playing with, coloring with inks. I usually use scraps, like things that I have on hand in my craft stash that I have not used in a long time. So in a way, junky. I take all the scraps from my projects and put them in a bin, and then if they're the right size, I can sew them into my book. So I use the decorative paper for something. I have scraps left over, put it in my books. And that is a great formula for using up your stash. I'm all about using up your stash. Hey, Virginia, how are you? Hey, Lynn, how are you? Nana's Crafty, thank you for sprinkling. Hey, Miss Dina, my girly Dina. Good morning. Joyce is here. Elizabeth's here from Massachusetts. Yeah, it's very cool, right, Jill? It's a great way to not have to buy supplies too. True junk journaling is using what you got on hand to make the books. And you can use them as art journals. You can use them as notepads. You can use them as sketch journals if you're trying to learn to draw, or you can use them as little scrapbooks if you want to. If it's big enough, like this one is big enough where I could actually take photos with my phone, print them out on my home printer, and put them in here like a very economical scrapbook, which is a great thing to do, particularly if it's for something special like a trip, a wedding, something that you want to commemorate. But you don't want to put a whole lot of time, effort, or money into creating a book with official scrapbook supplies. Really nice to be able to use what you got on hand and make pretty books. I love to use them for art journals and junk journals. And junk journals, for me, just, you know, I cut off those two pieces, and now we have the cover of our book. Okay, we're going to cover it and make it prettier. I love to use my junk journals just as a place. It's going to get noisy. I got to drop this down. Just as a place for playing, like creative play, paper crafting, collaging, playing with colors. If I get a new set of crayons or markers or inks or something, they can be a really fun place to play with your supplies too, and just use the pages as kind of like a art workbook. You know about junk journaling, Dawn. You made one. You made one for passwords, Dawn. That's a great idea. That was a great idea. Okay, so I picked this. Whoa. I picked this paper. Hold on, girls. Let's get organized. And we're going to create a cover, a pretty cover. This paper here. One of you sent me this paper in some happy mail. Thank you very much, whoever it was. And it's older paper. It's cardstock, which is nice because it'll make the book cover even sturdier. But you can see that it's older. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a little yellowing on the edges. There's no problem with that. There's no problem. There's no need to just get rid of this paper. We will use it for something pretty. Excuse me. The older the paper gets, the more brittle it gets. So, you know, I don't know. How much paper do you have on hand? Chat with me, girls. Let's have just an honest chat. I mean, if you could guesstimate how much paper you have on hand, how much would you say you have on hand? Like, do you have 100 sheets of decorative paper? Raise your hand if you have 100 sheets or more. Do you have 200 sheets of decorative paper? Like 400 sheets of decorative paper? Show me some hearts. Raise your hand on the screen. Who thinks they have more than 500 sheets of decorative paper in their stash? I mean, I started scrapbooking when my boys were really little. My older son is 17 now. So 17 years I've been scrapbooking. And I was crafting before that and had a stash of craft paper before that. So do you have more than 500 sheets? Show me some hearts across the screen. I want to know how many sheets. I see some hands being raised. There's Dawn's hand. Tita says way too many to count. Jill, lots and lots of paper. You're like me. I have so much, but not enough. Debbie. She says not enough. I have so much. It would probably make me a little nervous to actually count it, because I'd be like, oh, that's a lot of paper. Use it up, friends. Junk journaling, creating your own art journals is such a good way to use up the papers, especially like, I don't know what I would use this for otherwise, but it's going to make a really great cover, because most of the time with my covers, let me get this down and then we'll chat a little more. Most of the times with my covers, like this one, this was the decorative paper that I used to cover it, which I think is gorgeous. It's beautiful, but most of the time you put something on top, so we don't have to get terribly concerned with the outside design being anything particular. Okay, so use up what you got. Okay, what I did was I just glued it down, bad side to bad side. This kind of reminds me of quilting. You glue the bad side of the paper, meaning like the plain side or the box. The box doesn't matter because it's all going to get covered. I think I should probably put this through my cutter, my trimmer, so I can get a straight edge on this side. So I'm going to take this whole thing and put it under here and try to get a straight edge at about 1 inch. Listen, you can get super precise about this. If you want super precise, you're not going to, I won't say this. When I teach in my membership group, Craft Therapy Club, this is our schedule for May. I just posted it today for the girls. I will give you precise measurements if precise is what is needed. Let me say this. It's not always needed for this stuff. I think just about is fine. I'm going to make them just about the same size, about 1 inch on the top, inch on the bottom. I don't get real worked up about is it 1 inch and another little line on the ticker. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It'll all cover just fine. They always turn out fine. So don't get too worked up about that stuff. Oh my gosh, someone said, hold on, I missed that. I gotta look at comments. You have more fabric than paper. Tamara, you can cover your books with fabric. You can use fabric inside your books for decorative pieces. I love to use fabric to make like tabs for my pages in my books. So use your fabrics too. We are going to you'll have the option tomorrow in the Craft Therapy Club this month. We are doing a Cute Bunny mixed media project, and you can use both papers and or fabrics to make your bunny. So we'll talk about that when I do the supply list overview. Dawn puts pockets in small envelopes and materials. Absolutely. Anything that you can find, anything that you can gather, it can go in these books, which can be really a fun, creative challenge. Hi, Elaine. Anne Marie says, my oldest is going to be 27 next week, and I scrapbook for years. I could not tell you how much paper you have. Oh gosh, that's fun. I think you're in good company, ladies. I think you're in good company. I think that's most of us. Okay, this is what we got. Our outside cover is slightly bigger than the book, so we're going to wrap that around. Before I do any wrapping, though, I want to fold where my binding marks are, and I want to fold to make sure that I have a nice, straight, sharp fold here. I'm going to help that fold along. I'm going to do it very gently, knowing that my paper is a little brittle. So I'm just taking my time. I'm not being real aggressive here. And then that gives me my folds for my binding. That's where my binding will be. Okay. And then for gluing, I usually use a glue stick, but you can use liquid glue. You can use a combination of liquid glue and glue stick. I mean, hang out with me long enough, you'll see I use just about like all kinds of different things to glue my books down. Okay, those little markings that I made on the corners, you see that little triangle? We're gonna cut that off. Scissors, please. It's gonna help make nice mitered edges that are gonna be real pretty and neat looking. And it gets rid of some of the bulk when you're folding on these corners. Because you know, the corners, of course, they have double the amount of paper. So we're just going to cut those off. Again, am I uber precise? Heck no. It's just not necessary to get all worked up about that. Before I glue, I do like to come under. I'm going to hold this down really strongly, especially up at the top. I'm going to come underneath this, and I'm going to fold it. I'm going to fold it at that line to get the paper, like, to know this is what we're doing. Like, get ready. Get ready. This is what we're doing. We're going to fold you. And cardstock, of course, cardstock is a little more resistant because it's thicker. So just take your time. Give yourself a nice, strong crease. You could also score this. Not necessary, but you could if you wanted to. I think I'm going to double up with glue. I used this already this morning, so it had some wet glue on it. I use old catalogs as my glue back, like the thing on the back, so that I don't get glue on my table. Another tip, if you're trying to use up your stash of things, good way to use up that mail that you get that you consider junk mail. Okay, there's a spot right here. You can see that? Where it's a little mist. In come my nice art glitter glue. A little bit of wet glue in there to really give it a good glue down. Sometimes I find that all right, this never goes bad in terms of will it glue? It'll glue something down. It gets thicker with time, and you can sometimes add water or other things to your liquid glues. These dry out. Double-sided tapes, these do dry out and they lose their potency. So you can use it. It's sometimes nice though to come in with something else. So I sometimes use, like you just saw, I used 3 glues on that. Let's add this just because that really dry paper really sucked up my glue stick. So let's see if that's a little more potent. Okay, we're going to establish our fold. goodness, I almost lost you guys over here, so I can't see comments. Thank you, Marianne. I think that paper is really pretty too, and I think it's going to be a nice background for whatever I want to decorate on the top of it. What's everybody up to today? Are you creating? I had such a busy day. Well, Gannon is on the trap team at the high school, so he had practice yesterday. So thankfully my husband took him and I got to catch up a little bit on my emails and messages. So if you're waiting for a response from me, I apologize. It was a super busy but necessary family weekend of things that were, you know, taking up my time. But I'll get back to you, I promise. So today is catch-up day. They're all at school or work. So I can get some other things done, like catching up with you guys. So what's everybody up to today? Who's creating? I was so cold when I came in here, and now I think I'm getting so excited about my project. I'm getting hot. So we're gonna remove the sweater. Aw, thanks, Dawn. She says, I love the heart. I did that project a long while back. And it was in my stash of like projects I love and I don't want to give up. Sometimes I sell them on live sales on my page, but sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I just want to keep them. And that was a keeper. That was one that I wanted to keep. So I thought it's time to display it again. It hasn't had a showcase in a while. So thank you for saying so. Okay, this one I'm just using all liquid glue. You can see you can use liquid glue, you can use a combination of glues, you can just use one glue. It's totally up to you. And you'll get a feel once you start doing this kind of stuff, just like anything else. You'll get a feel for what you like, and then you'll just gravitate toward that. That's what's going to end up happening. You should gravitate toward the supplies that you like most to work with. Okay, so see how that gives you a nice, clean, mitered edge? It's not critical that this be super neat and match up perfectly, because we're going to cover this too with decorative paper. So don't get real worked up if your sides are a little wonky, if those corners are a little wonky. I'm going to do a combination of glues here. And I like to use this catalog. It's an old catalog that I would have thrown out anyway. Sometimes I make glue books out of them, and sometimes I use them for gluing. So then I can put this back down. All the sticky part is in here. And then I have the rest of the book, and you can see it's a really thick catalog that I can use for like a glue background, so I don't get glue all over my table or all over whatever you're working on. Okay, that part. Look how neat. And that's a nice size book, you guys. The Quick Bread box. Let's see what it is. I'm guessing it's about 4 by 7 or 4 by 8. I mean, it's 4.5, just about 4.5 by 7 1/4. A nice size book. All right, now decorate, like we want to put something on the inside. Hello, ladies. Emery says, I just changed out my winter clothes for spring, summer. After watching you, I'll be working on my journal. Well, good for you, Emery. Yeah, Chris Castelli, you can use whatever glue you want. I would say just test out what you like working with is the most important thing. Test out what you like working with. This is all going to get glued down, but it is sticking up just a little. I'm going to stick a little bit of that liquid glue under there. It was just popping up just a little. Okay, I picked a solid for the inside because I thought I have this really, it's kind of a busy but pretty floral, and it actually looks like embroidery. Doesn't it look like an embroidery project? On the outside, I'm going to put a solid on the inside, and then I can put pockets on the inside that won't clash or be difficult to see the insides. But look at this, matches so well. This color here. I don't know, like it's like a tealish blue, but look at how well it matches. So this is going to go on the inside, and I cut it just smaller. Like, you can do whatever you want. If you want a lot of this edge to show, you can cut it so that it looks like this. I mean, you have some, look how much room we have, because this was about 1 inch on both sides. So you could cut this so it was a 1/2 inch shorter. I usually go pretty close so that you can still see it peeking, but it's not it's not totally being seen. So you guys, because I'm an eyeballer, this is what I do. I line it up. I get my pencil and I have it lined up. It's probably about a 1/16 of an inch. I'm going to do the same thing here so I know where my cut line needs to be there. And then coming this way, whoops, stay there, friend. And then coming this way, I'll do about the same. I'll do it just slightly shorter. Okay, so I have just 2 little pencil marks on here that are going to tell me when I put it in my cutter where to cut it. Let me check comments, see what everybody's saying. I did buy some cartridges of double-sided tape though too. Yeah, Chris, I love double-sided tape. It is really strong, but here I would just say, buy what you can use in the next 4 to 6 months. Don't buy 2 years worth of tape because it's on sale, because it will dry out on you if you're not going to use it up quickly. I have some tapes that aren't super stellar in terms of strength of adherence, and I'm still using them because I don't want to throw them out. So I just mix, like I'll use my glue stick and the tape together just to be sure that it's going to stay in place. All right, let's test and see if I did this right. Sometimes when I talk, I can't talk and cut right at the same time. Okay, yeah, that's going to be perfect. So I'm going to glue it down and then worry about reestablishing these creases or these folds. So you can do whatever you want. You can put the glue down on here and then stick this on, or the glue on here and then stick it on. I think I'm going to put the glue on here. So back to my little glue book, my glue catalog. And I've got it. This is just double-sided cardstock, so it doesn't matter if there's no decorative side, doesn't matter what side it goes on. I want to really make sure to hit my edges with my glue stick. So I go over the edge. And I'm going to hit this in the middle. It's so sticky. This is my favorite glue stick. It's really big. It's called the Scotch Create. You can find it in my Amazon store. It took me a long time to find it. And when I buy it from Amazon, I get 3 sticks at a time, which is nice because that's perfect amount to have one or two on hand. I tend to go through a lot of it. Okay, I'm going to stand up so I can see what I'm doing. The corners won't be coming up. No, I got lots of glue here. I got lots of glue. Hey, Debbie Duckett, I see you, friend. Making sure that I'm straight. Before I push down on it to get it to really stick, I'm making sure that I'm even. And then I'm going to come in the middle first to push down and then go out to the edges so that we try to avoid any bubbles. Right here, I must have missed, girls. Look, it's just up a little. So I take this, our glitter glue that has that really tight point on it, and that's where I can, it's so easy to stick this in that little spot where I missed, and I just release a little bit of glue. Ooh, it looks like I got all the way down the edge. Did I miss that side? Holy grapes. All right, it's okay. It's okay, we've got this. There. Okay, here we are, that's the inside. Matches so well with the outside. Let's reestablish these folds now. Oh, my schedule's on the floor. My craft therapy club schedule. It's May 1st. I can't believe it's May 1st, you guys. Good morning, Babs. You're always welcome, whether it's late or not. We just started, right? We're like 20 minutes in. It's not so bad. If my box isn't too heavy, I put down cloth tape over the fold for added strength. Well, there you go, Debbie. That's a great idea. Okay, we got to find these folds. They're already established out here. We've already done the work to establish those. So see how gentle? I'm just kind of giving it a nudge, like this is what we want to do. Oh, my glue. Look at my glue. What happened here? Why didn't my glue stick? What happened? This is why. Look. This is why it's good to have more than one glue. All right, I'm not going to worry about I'll glue it down once I get these folds kind of established. Come on. I will definitely tell you, working with cardstock is definitely more challenging than working with like regular weight paper. But I want these book covers. This one is almost as stiff as like a hardcover book that you would buy at Barnes & Noble to read or get from the library to read. By the way, our library sale is today. Well, it started over the weekend, but of course I couldn't be there because I was with the fam. So I'm going today to our library sale, semi-annual library sale, and I'm so excited about it. So I'm getting those folds down and then see that where the gluing wanted to come up. We're going to re-glue. But first, might as well get those folds really established and then we'll glue. Once you've got, I really like this process of putting the base together. Once you got your base done, then the real fun decorative stuff starts happening, like covering the, decorating the cover, adding the pages, all that stuff. I usually wait until the book is completely put together with the signatures on the inside before I do the decorating the cover. That's what I did on this one. I put all the signatures in first, and then I figured out what I wanted to do with the cover. Because I think the kinds of pages that you put on the inside might determine like a vibe or a feel for the book. And then you can decide, do you want your cover to be vintage? Do you want it to be snarky? What do you want exactly? And then you can accommodate that way. I'm really, really having a lot of trouble with this glue sticking. But I'm not giving up, girls. I'm not giving up. Right in the spine, like right in here. It's not sticking that great. And I can easily add this to the edges, but I can't get it in here very easily. A more liquid glue like this will be drippy, Fabrifix. That you could probably get to drip down, but I'm tempted to just peel it back and... no, it's not going to peel back. All right, we're going drippy, girls. We're going drippy. Fabrifix. Someone said I had to turn my notifications back on. I don't know who that was. Who said that? The tool that I'm using, what is it? This tool, this little scraper, it's just a little scraper. So there's a little thumbprint right there. It was from Uppercase Living. Remember that those old, I don't even know if that company is still around. Does anybody know Uppercase Living? I'm gonna put this glue down and hope that it drips down a little because it's hard for me to get down very far in here. Uppercase Living was like those removable designs that you could put up on your wall for a temporary period of time. And it was like a big, they were really just vinyl stickers that you put on your wall that are removable. And that came when I ordered from them years and years ago. This tool came from there, but you could use anything flat. Like I always point out to you guys, like even, your hotel keys. That's a Best Buy gift card. I use this stuff all the time for flattening out projects, spreading glue, spreading paint, those kinds of things. They come in real handy. I'm wondering if I'm clogged here. Use cardstock. I think it's better to cut 3 pieces than glue down, then it doesn't bulge in the middle. Andrea, that's a great idea. That is a great idea. But right now, I'm trying to salvage this because I got it. Yeah, here we go. I think I was clogged. Maybe not. Come on, baby. I know you want to work for me. This is like a cake. It is literally a cake decorating tool, glue, or tool, like spreader. We're getting crafty, girls. We got to get creative when our tools don't want to work with us. There. I got some glue. Cannot deny, I got me some glue right there. All right, now with this silicone tool, I can get it way down in there. All right. Girls, I hope I don't have to abandon this totally. I think if I were to rip this apart, the cardboard will be fine, but it will mar up the paper on the edges. And that may even be okay if you just cover it back up with another decorative piece of paper. I just got these silicone tools off of Amazon, and I got it specifically for my glues because paintbrushes are so hard to clean when they have glue on them. It's just so hard on the brushes. And I usually keep a separate set of brushes just for glue because I do not want them getting all, it kind of messes with the bristles. Okay. Now, because it's a liquid glue, we just got to give it a minute. Got to give it a hot minute to dry. Glue on my fingers. Where do my wipes go? She's not playing now, paper, right, Chris? I like that. I did make that heart behind me, Becca. I did. It was a long, I was just telling the girls it was a long while ago. I think I got the wood piece with the heart cut out. I think I got that at Crafts Direct. Do you guys shop Crafts Direct? I think that's where I got it from. Okay, liquid glue challenge or thing to consider when you're using liquid glues. When I flatten, the glue oozes out the edge and you just got to wipe it off, right? So when the glue comes out the edge, it goes like on my little scraper there. You just got to make sure that you clean it off. That way you don't have, I don't like clumpy glue at all. All right, I'm not loving this, girls. I'm not loving it. The glue just gave me all sorts of trouble. Okay. Do we even dare try? Should we try to salvage it? I don't mind if the paper gets torn. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, we're going to try. I don't mind if the paper gets torn. This, because I can cover that up. How to fix. I make mistakes all the time when I'm live. And I gotta work through it. You gotta figure out, how can I salvage this project? I'm not throwing it out. Dang no. After all that covering, and this is the only piece of this embroidery looking floral paper that I have, and I certainly don't want to lose it. So we're gonna redo it. Okay. Out you go. See what we got? This we can do. This is where I just put all that. It's still even like oozy, sticky wet glue. It's okay. I'm actually going to stick it right on here so it doesn't get all over my garbage can. All right, girls, we're redoing. There. I need something to get under there. There we go. This reminds me of when you ever get a jar that, because I'm a jar user too, get a jar that you want to salvage and use and you're trying to get that stinking label off the outside. So I soak them in the sink for a while and then you have to come in and try to get under the label to scrape it off. One of these tools usually works if it's wet, but of course this isn't that wet. Okay, we got it. This is good. Okay, totally salvageable. It left a little mess, but it's okay. All right, let's start again. I want that paper. I want that paper, so I'm not gonna abandon my plan. There we go. Let's see first. Is this wide enough? It is. It's perfectly wide for covering this center piece. So what Andrea suggested is doing 3 different pieces when you're using cardstock. Pencil. Here's my, okay, who took it? It's highly unlikely that I put that away, but it was put away where it was supposed to be. All right, here we go. We're going to do it again. And this time, we're just going to use 3 separate pieces to avoid the bulge. I have wondered if it's not. The liquid glue was sticking fine, but my tape runners, you have to make sure they're nice and fresh. All right, that's where that wet liquid glue is. I just need glue on the bottom. So we're doing the same thing we did before. We're cutting it to size, the middle only, and then just a little bit shorter on the top and the bottom. See that? Just a tiny little bit showing on the top and the bottom. Now we need to cut these. Now we need 2 pieces instead of 1. So I'm going to go like this, line it up. I use my pencil to decide how big I want it. Let's Go a little bit shorter this time. And then this way, since this is somewhat wet, I'm not going to put this paper on there. All right, girls, you want to learn how to recover from a mistake? I make a lot of them, so you can hang out with me anytime. Okay, here we go. So I need two the same size. So what I normally do is I'll make the one, and then I'll use that one as my template for the second one. But before we template it, let's make sure it's actually what we need right here. It's the right length, it's the right width, it's perfect. A little bit sticky. So I'm going to lay it right on top of this other paper and use it as my template. This way they're the same exact size. I just got this cutter. It's a cutting and scoring board, and I love it. Other than, I thought I would like this, and I do like the way it feels, but I'll tell you what, it's definitely harder to store this thing with this big honkin' handle on there. But it does feel good in your hand. Oh, right, Billy? She says, I'm so glad I'm not the only one who has an oops. Girl, you are in good company. You are in good company. I am the queen of oops. And then telling you, okay, don't lose hope, girls. We got this. We're going to fold this so that I can use to glue down a lot of glue. Move it over here. See, when you get glue on there and you're still wanting to glue, you can just fold over a piece, and then this whole book had a use that was helpful, right? So we got glue on that side. I'm just going to fold. Or what you could do is just start tearing them off once they have glue on them and throwing them out. Either way. Okay, see how curly up it's getting? It's because it's got so much of that glue on there, but it'll stay nicely. You're going to have a little bit of a gap. I'll show you here in a second, girls. You're going to have an insy-binsy gap. Starting from the middle. Same way. Going out. Okay. Little gap where your fold is. When your book is closed and you open it, did I do it that way on this one? I did. I used 3 different pieces. So you see the little gap. I actually used different colors. I used blue here, and then I used the same outside paper on the binding part of it. You can probably see it better in between the two. But you'll end up with a little gap where you can see your cardboard. And if that bugs you, you could cover it with washi tape or do something decorative with it. But I'm pretty sure you won't even notice it once your book is together and you're using it. Okay, here we go. We're gluing with the glue stick again. I'm going to go outside, going over the edge, and then get some on the inside. I don't think I'm going to need that anymore. I don't think. Let me stand up so I can make sure I'm even before I put it down. I'm checking both up and down and this way that it's even all the way around. Oh, much better. All right, girls. Okay, so now, see, you've got that gap, but I don't think it's any trouble. I have in the past, if you accidentally make it too big, just grab some of your pretty washi tapes and you can cover that. And the nice thing about the washi tape, actually, let's see if we can find one that matches. This one's really pretty and it has big florals and it's got some foil on it. It can be a really nice way to reinforce your edges. Like you could put that right down on both sides, giving yourself a decorative floral on the inside. And it is a nice way to like reinforce that spine. If it bothers you. It doesn't really bother me, but if it bothers you. What am I doing on time? We got 5 minutes. Yeah, Jeanette, it will stay glued. It will stay glued. This is a permanent glue. This is my favorite glue stick, you guys. Oh, you can't even read it. It's Scotch Create. It's a permanent glue stick. It's very sticky. It's very wet. It doesn't dry out, which I love because there's nothing worse than opening a glue stick and having it be completely dry on you. You can buy glue particularly made for paper projects. That's another option, is to buy glue that's for paper projects if you want to. There's another option, but I love testing out products and reporting back, especially in my groups. I think I did this backwards, reporting back to the girls, like, this is what's worked, or if something doesn't work, saying, all right, avoid this, don't make the same mistake I made. But yeah, that's a permanent glue stick, and I've been using it for quite a long time. Deb Turner, hello, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so now the next part of this process will be to go ahead and start going through my paper stash and finding pages that I can use to make my signatures. I probably will put, I could fit on this binding 2 or 3 signatures, groupings of pages. You see this one has 2, 1 group of pages and 2 group of pages, and that's probably about the same, maybe a little smaller. It is a little smaller. So I probably could fit 3, but you could put 1. You don't have to put 3. You can put as many signatures as you want. The thing is to make sure that when you have your book, this one I haven't even started really filling the pages. Did I decorate any of them? I don't think I did. Once you start putting things in your book, like if you're gluing tickets into it or pictures into it, or you know, altering the pages at all, the pages are going to get thicker and thicker and thicker. So you need enough room for your book to close, and you may even want to have a tie on your book that will hold your book closed, like that. So my next step will be to pick my pages, and that, I absolutely love that process because I can go through all my stash and start pulling pages that I think will really complement the book, and then cutting them down to the right size for the book. So stay tuned for more of that. You're welcome, Janet. Good morning, Darcy's Designs. Hello, friend. Just checking the last bit of comments. Hello, Tracy in Australia. Welcome, welcome, and good evening. It's good evening there. It is, for us, it's 10:30 a.m. You are brave. Elizabeth, I don't know about that. Girl, you got this. Uh-oh. I was gone for 2 weeks and my Mod Podge brushes dried up. I have conditioned them on with Power Dawn. Oh goodness. I use my Masters brush cleaner, and it has always worked for me for cleaning my brushes. So if you need that, you can check my Amazon store. If you want to look into the Masters brush cleaner, it's to me, it's by far the best. All right, girls, my time is up in about 2 minutes. You're loving it so much. Ah, thanks, Stephanie. I have a couple of things. I have a Temu. I was live the other day, and some of the girls were like, you should order from Temu, or have you tried Temu? I don't even know how it came up. Somebody said something about it in the comments. I'm like, I've never heard of this. Tell me what it is. Tell me in the comments, have you ordered from Temu? So I asked them, is it an American company? Where is it based out of? Because I love supporting USA companies, and it is based in the USA. So I went on and I thought, all right, let's give it a whirl. So my order has come in. I tried it. I placed an order. It has come in already, so it was pretty fast. And I got to open it. So I'll probably be doing that later. So stay tuned for that. And the Craft Therapy Club members, your schedule was just posted today in the group. So here's our schedule for the month. We are doing a mixed media bunny project, and you'll get a template for that. So I'll post the template here in the next day or two. And my first live for you guys is Tuesday, tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I'll give you the craft box reveal. That's an optional craft box. We'll go over the month. I'll do a monthly overview, and we'll talk about the supply list, the supplies that you could use for this mixed media bunny, which are very, very flexible. Again, focusing on using up your stash. Becky, you have ordered from Temu. Were you happy with your stuff? If you ordered, what did you get? And were you happy with it? I would love to know. So far, no issues. Okay, thank you for telling us that, Tallahatchie Maid. I appreciate that. Look at, why haven't I followed you yet? On my screen, it says, you know, follow next to your name. I'm hitting the follow button. How did that happen? Okay, somebody else is coming up next. I believe it's is it Fox and Smocks? I think that's who's up next. So make sure you get into the Craft Around the Clock group to check her out and see what she's up to. She usually works with a lot of foils, which is very exciting. I probably was and got booted off. Do you think so? Ugh, dang it. You got a delivery coming today, Dina? This is my first order. Hold on. I was actually quite surprised. I ordered some hard things. Like, oh, I think I ordered some of these. But there's no padding. Like, it's not in a box. It's in a bag. I can feel the things. It's strange. Anyway, I'll be opening this later. Watch your Telegram channel for a little notation that I'll be going live to open this. All right, you guys. Take care. Have a blessed day. I will catch you next time. Tomorrow night is Late Night Crafting here on the page at 9 p.m. Central. See you later.